My name is John Cotton. I'm General Manager for Wilderness Trace Solar. We're based out of Danville, Kentucky. We do work all over the state. This region, Louisville, we have work going in southeast Kentucky. We have a lot of work in southern Kentucky, so we move all over. But we can talk about that later. You all can come and visit us at the booth. Carmen asked me to talk a little bit about battery systems. And I can tell you, batteries are coming. It is going to be an issue that you're going to continue to see moving into the future. Electric vehicles are coming. You are going to see more of electric and hybrids. The big 5 auto companies here in the United States now, GM, Toyota, Honda, Ford, and Chrysler, have all made some very significant comments that they are going to be changing their production models over the next 5 to 10 years. And most gas-only models will be virtually non-existent in 10 years for automobiles. Now, trucks and SUVs are on their way also, but you're going to see a lot of changes in the marketplace. It's going to be a very interesting time over the next 10 to 15 years as the industry changes. Yes, ma'am.
Can I turn that up for you?
Thank you. That should be a bit better for everybody. We handle a battery system called the Blue Ion system. There are a number of them in the marketplace. Most people are very familiar with the Tesla battery. They've done a phenomenal marketing job, which is a lithium-ion battery. Our battery system's a bit different. It's lithium ferrous phosphate. I gave some handouts. If anybody didn't get one, we've got more on our table back here that you can get later. But it's a different type of battery system. It doesn't have a heat coefficient or thermal coefficient like the lithium-ion batteries do. And if you're not sure what that means, if you've got a cell phone and it's gotten hot while you were holding it, that's called the thermal coefficient. So the lithium ferrous phosphate, or in some cases you'll see them lithium iron phosphate, it's the same thing, just different parts of the world use a different nomenclature. But those batteries don't heat up. It's a very different type of system. They are not a toxic battery. Heck Rogers, the gentleman who invented the game Tetris, invented this system actually. He handed over his gaming empire to his children and began this system about 10 or 15 years ago. And they launched it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been growing very steadily across the world. We just actually got our first battery systems in to install just yesterday. They came in. We're very pleased to find out the actual batteries themselves are made by Sony Corporation. The design of the system and everything else, of course, is done by Blue Planet Energy, which is a company that does this. The poster I brought up front here, that is the actual size of the system. That's a life-size photograph. And it's a unique system, but I'm not here just to talk about what we sell. As I said, the Tesla Powerwall is an option that a lot of people are looking at. LG Chem makes batteries also. Those are both lithium ion. Again, as I said, there are some thermal issues to be concerned about with that. They can get very hot in operation. As I said, that's one of the reasons we went with this one. We're actually a certified installer for LG Chem also, but we've decided no longer to install those batteries. A lot of people are familiar with lead acid batteries, and those are still a very viable option. I will tell you today that at this time and juncture, that battery systems are not cheap. They are still very expensive. The prices are coming down and will continue to come down over the next few years, but just to be upfront about it, they're not a cheap solution quite yet. So I don't want to, color something in here that's not true. So it's just something to keep in mind. Reason people are installing battery systems, as energy rates continue to change, it allows you a backup system that's not gasoline powered or propane powered as far as a generator system is concerned. Those are viable options also for backup power. We're looking a lot at some people who have health requirements that losing power can be, in some cases, potentially a life-threatening issue. Individuals who have large data stream sets that, at-home businesses, things along that line that are important that they have an access, continual access of power. Those are individuals that frequently are looking. And then other people who are just in rural areas primarily where the loss of power is an issue to be concerned about. Individuals with electric cars, a lot of them are looking now at the battery systems as a way of being able to store power if they have solar arrays. It allows you the backup of, storing the excess power that would normally go onto the grid. You can store that and then use that power at night when your solar array is not working. So there's a whole plethora of reasons here that we're doing things. Thank you. People that know me know that I tend to be long-winded, so they're keeping me on a short clock, and that's fine. But there are a whole number of reasons that people look at battery systems. We will work with you if you're interested in discussing it and interested in us coming out. If you're interested in doing a solar and battery combination system, we can do that. There are varieties of systems available, both on-grid and off-grid. On-grid is basically just what it sounds like. You're tied to the electric grid still. Off-grid means you are no longer tied to the electric grid. All of your power production is through solar or wind or some other type of format. There are a couple of very small hydroelectric systems here in the state of Kentucky where people have streams that are heavy enough running that they can do that. That gets into a lot of other permitting issues with the Kentucky Department of Water or Division of Water that I'm not sure most people want to tackle, but it's a viable possibility. We know some people that have natural gas wells on their property that have actually got natural gas generators that have their own generation systems, and they're completely off grid from that standpoint. They don't have to be grid tied. So there are a number of considerations. We'll be happy to discuss those and work those out for you if you're interested in looking at alternative energy sources. Also, I'm not sure if the gentleman today from Salt River will be talking, but East Kentucky Power, the power provider for them, they have a solar field that they lease panels. If you don't have a location that's suitable for solar and you're interested in doing solar, that's an option. And some locations are not good locations. Too much shading, roofs that face the wrong way, and you don't have room for a ground mount array. A whole number of other reasons that people cannot do solar on their property. That's an option. If you're interested in doing something alternative energy-wise, that option's available. So I'm just trying to bring some of these things up. Has anybody got any quick questions? And we can talk further, obviously, back in the display area here in a little bit, but does anybody have any quick questions? Yes, sir.
How many kilowatt storage?
This battery system actually is one of the very unique things about this system. It starts out at 8 kilowatt hours, then goes to 12, and then goes to 16. You can add to this system. The other thing that's completely unique about this is you can add to it at any time. Most battery systems, when you start, if you're going to install it, you can't add to that because it affects the lifespan of the first battery you put in. This system doesn't have that issue. Life expectancy, actually warranty life expectancy on this system is 15 years. Sorry, I should have turned my phone off. Sorry about that, I know better than that. Anyhow, this system, as I said, you can add to this system at any time. It's one of the few systems that you can degrade the battery 100% and then recharge without affecting the battery. Productive lifespan on these is estimated at 21 years. It's the longest in the industry. The straight out warranty period on this is 12 years. So it has an excellent backing from that standpoint. I can tell you Mr. Rogers' personal home, he has a 13,000 square foot home in Hawaii that is completely off grid, powered by these systems. His R&D system, which is 45,000 square feet, is completely off grids, powered by solar and battery systems. So it is a viable system. It's being used in a number of countries around the world, both northern and southern hemispheres. So it's a really good quality system. But as I said, it's expandable. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. I'm sorry, I barely can hear you, I'm sorry.
What happens to the batteries at the end of their lifetime?
In this particular case, that's one of the other advantages of this one. This battery system is completely recyclable. Lithium-ion batteries are not. That's one of the other reasons we selected this system, and we are the Kentucky State distributor for this battery system. It is the lithium ferrous phosphate system is the only recyclable battery in the marketplace currently with no of this type of battery system with no residuals. Yes, sir.
What are people doing with other types?
I'm going to step over a little bit so I can hear you better. I apologize. Okay. To repeat, my time's up, I'll go ahead and answer this one question real quick. He was asking what happens to other type of battery systems like lead acid and lithium ion systems. Lithium ion systems right now are a perplexing situation. Part of the chemical base and the mineral base inside of it are not recyclable, and that's still being dealt with, quite frankly. Lead acid batteries are recyclable to a point. Of course, just like your car battery is a lead acid battery, the acid is taken apart and neutralized, but you still have an active chemical base that has to be dealt with. The lead system, of course, is melted down and recycled from that standpoint. Lead acid gel batteries are a bit different. The gel system inside of it is part of that actually represents a hazardous waste that has to be dealt with accordingly. Again, the lead can be recycled, but part of the gel system that makes up a lead acid gel battery is a bit different on that one.
Does your battery have any mercury in it?
Does it have any mercury?
Some battery systems do. This one does not. And I'm not going to try to tell you I've memorized the chemistry in a lithium ion because I haven't. I do know there are some that have mercury. There's some others that have other cadmium and a few other heavy metals that are considered hazardous. I'm not a chemist, and I'm not going to try to repeat all the different ones. I can get you that information, though. If you'll get one of my cards from me later this morning, I'll be happy to send you that information. I do have it available. Thank you all very much.